The day yesterday was not about the Dallas Cowboys. It really wasn't about the Indianapolis Colts. The day yesterday was about the Jets. That's what the day yesterday was about. They gave themselves an incredible. They gave themselves incredible cap space. They made two great signings in the summer with these two, especially with Gardner, and they made it possible that they can trade. And now the Jets, in the next two drafts, have 5 number 1 draft picks. The 27 draft, in which the Jets have 3 number 1 picks, the 27 draft is going to be a great draft. The Ohio State wide receiver. Everybody swears the quarterbacks are going to be very, very good. Supposedly it's going to be a monumental draft. Next year, this coming year, they got the Dallas pick and they got their own pick. They got an incredible, and they got a second-round pick here, too. They got the second-round pick, they got the Colt pick, and they got the Dallas pick, and then they got their own pick, and then the next year they got the Colts themselves and Dallas. 5 number 1s in a second round plus salary cap space. And Woody Johnson, I love Steve. Woody Johnson's not making the picks. The new GM's going to make the picks. Aaron Glenn's going to make the picks. Now, if you're going to sit there and tell me that somehow they're going to screw up again, like Mark Sanchez, like Zach Wilson, I'll buy that. You don't guarantee you're going to get it right. You're 1,000% correct. But now they have the collateral to take a chance and find a quarterback, which they have not had since Namath left in the early 70s. And now they got a chance to do that.
Okay, well, see, and that's where the problem lies. Doggy's so busy talking, he ain't listening to his damn self. That's the damn problem with Doggy. He ain't even listening to his damn self. He just finished saying, what did he say, Shae? What did he say, Swagu? He said they haven't done this since Namath in 1969. That's our point, Doggy. That's our point. So you've got a situation where you fast forward, all right, to all of these decades that have passed, spanning 50-plus years. You've been to a few AFC championship games under Bill Parcells, under Rex Ryan, okay? You've done all of that. Didn't materialize into anything. Dan Marino was in a draft. You drafted Kenny O'Brien, okay? We got to remember that kind of stuff, too. Woody Johnson's there. Who's he going to pick as the head coach? Who's his GM? Who are these people that's going to be making these decisions? Because the people that he's picked prior to that haven't made the greatest decisions. And, oh, by the way, when you go into a draft, if I told you in a draft, right, think about this, Swagu. If I said to you that the New York Jets are going to get somebody tantamount to a Quinnen Williams, somebody tantamount to a Sauce Gardner, somebody tantamount to a Garrett Wilson, you'd say, hell yeah, that's great. That's great. Yep. Well, let's let those guys go. Why? Because organizationally, structurally, they stink. That's what we're talking about.
They fail.
And so as a result of that, you're looking at them and you're saying, I get it, Doggy. You got rid of those players. You're going to get future compensation. I got that part. What I'm saying is that the Jets have proven even that is nothing to be excited about, because football's definition of purgatory is arguably the New York Jets.
You have to give this organization, the front office, the guy they brought in from Houston, and Aaron Glenn, you have to give them a clean slate. Now they got 5 number 1 picks.
Doggy.
Now they may not get it right, but who knows? Eventually you're going to get the quarterback, and that's what they need more than anything else is the QB. Now they got a chance to get that. Go ahead.
And Doggy, two things can be true. What Stephen A. just said, based on revisionist history, they have not done a good job. They have a new crew in there. All they got to do is get this quarterback situation right, which is why you offloaded who I think are 2 of the high-level defensive players, because you want compensation. Now for the Jets, with all of this draft capital, it's about getting the right guys, which has proven to be the hardest part for them. Hopefully, Aaron Glenn, coming over from Detroit with an organization that was suffering, understands how that looks to revamp and make them better, what they did in Detroit with Brad Holmes, and hopefully it hits for them. Because 2 or 3 years later from this, Doggy, if we sitting here and we talking about the Jets did not find their quarterback, we're going to look at Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner and be like, they lost that.
I buy that.
Good luck to the Jets, man.
I buy that.
You got to give it to the Jets. For once, I feel like they're looking within. We can't figure out how to make the most of the players we have in-house. We got to blow this thing up. Good job. Way to move it forward. However, now we look to 2027. Yep. They're going to have 3 first-round draft picks in the same draft since the 2022 Jets. We've been here before, and they didn't get it right that year. Hopefully, they can do it going forward. All right, we're just getting started here on First Take. We're going to get to the Colts, obviously. NFL. Yesterday, obviously, was the trade deadline at 4 Eastern. Big fire sale from the Jets. The other big trade we haven't talked a ton about was what the Colts did. Sauce Gardner out of New York. He goes to Indianapolis. They gave up 2 first-round draft picks to get the highest-paid cornerback in the National Football League. Indy, coming off a loss to the Steelers. They still sit at 7-2. They're in Germany this weekend to face the Falcons. They hope to have Sauce ready to go for the game. They have not yet announced if he will be. Now, this is a 25-year-old cornerback who has not played to his potential over the last 2 seasons. But now we see what will happen. Is he the missing piece in this secondary, doggy, to take Indy over the top into the Super Bowl? Peter Schrager now with us as well. What's up, buddy?
I'll go quickly here so Pete and Swagu and Stevie can fire away. In 55 games, he's got 3 interceptions. Okay, go look at what Mike Evans did to him in the Tampa game earlier in the year. Now, listen, he's a good corner. He'll help them. But Indianapolis he's not the missing piece. Indianapolis is not all of a sudden going to the Super Bowl because Sauce Gardner is going to be a cornerback. They're going to go to the Super Bowl if Daniel Jones plays well, and I don't trust him. Last week, perfect example, 5 turnovers. In a big spot, I'm taking Josh Allen. I might even take Drake. I'm taking Drake May. I'm certainly taking Mahomes. I'm taking Herbert. I'm even taking Bo Nix, and I'm taking Lamar. So if you look at Indianapolis, they got the 7th or 8th best quarterback in the conference who's going to be in the postseason. Hard to get to a Super Bowl with the 7th or 8th best cornerback. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be that
a lot easier though if you're.
You are.
You go, Stephen.
You're just exhausted sometimes. It just doesn't make any sense with you sometimes, okay? And you know, you tried to be slick, doggy. You tried to be slick, right? So here he is, y'all. You know what? The producers, put me on the damn camera, please. Hell with those highlights right now. Let me tell you something. Let's look at this, okay? So Mad Dog Russo brings up the fact that Sauce Gardner only has 3 interceptions. Now, we do know that when you're a quarterback, sometimes they don't throw in your direction. When you're a premier cornerback, sometimes they don't throw in your direction. He brings up those 3 interceptions. Don't get me wrong, it's a low number in 55 games. I get that part. But you conveniently left out that only 50% of the passes are completed against him that are thrown in his direction. All right? He's considered a premier corner for a reason. But Doggy left that nugget out. He didn't bring up that one. He brought up the facts to support his point and just omitted the other part, trying to be with your slick ass self. It ain't working. That's number 1. Number 2, the Indianapolis Colts have the 26th ranked pass defense. They need help on the back end, okay? And oh, by the way, when you look at all the pieces that they have, yes, Daniel Jones, okay, he returned to normal. That's the kind of Daniel Jones we were accustomed to see when he was in New York Giants with his 5 turnover having self. We got that part. But Jonathan Taylor, we know that he's going to run the football better. We know their receivers going to look better. We know their offensive line is going to protect them better than they did against Pittsburgh because it's considered one of the best. And then now you look at them, and they got a veteran defense. They're clearly going all in. Did you ever take into account the fact that who you're playing with also upgrades your performance because you don't have to play hero ball and you don't have to feel like you got to do everything because you know you got help on the field with you? So you ever think about that? That's what we're talking about with the Indianapolis Colts. Sauce Gardner's a baller. That brother can play, okay? And I think him being on Indy, he's going to look better than he looked at least the last couple of years with the New York Jets.
Yep.
Let me add a little bit of color here on the trade itself, because all week I've been obviously working the trade deadline, and I heard Quincy Williams' name, heard Quinnen Williams' name, heard Breece Hall. At no point did anyone mention Sauce Gardner being on the block because they signed him to a 4-year, $120 million deal in July. This GM is a first-year GM, and he's like, my first big move is going to sign Sauce Gardner. They got a godfather offer from the Colts that they could not say no. You know, they got as much basically as what the Cowboys gave up for Micah Parsons, what the Packers had to, give up for the Micah Parsons deal. It's what they got for Sauce Gardner. So they believe that this is a veteran team, to Stephen A's point, with Kenny Moore and DeForest Buckner and Zaire Franklin. This is not some young flash-in-the-pan team that this is a nice story. They believe they're Super Bowl contenders. Getting Sauce Gardner is a message to not only their fans and to their team that, hey, we believe this is the year. To give up that draft capital, it's also a vote of confidence to Daniel Jones. That, hey, we don't have any first-round picks in the next few years. You're our guy. So if that doesn't make him feel better and make him feel elevated as, hey, not only do I have a better team on the field, but now I finally have an organization that's going and pushing the chips all in on me, I think it's two-pronged. They give up a lot, Shae, but they did so to not only boost up their roster, but to boost up their quarterback and say, hey, I'm the man.
Yeah.
They're putting their faith in me. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not trying to pile on, Doggy, but the Colts right now rank third in the lead in interceptions. I don't even know if they need the help. They're getting takeaways without even having Sauce Gardner on the roster. Go ahead, Marcus. What do you think?
Okay, let's give some context. I do believe the Colts can be Super Bowl contenders this year. That's number one. First of all, listen to this schedule. They got Atlanta, as Doggy mentioned, Kansas City, which is going to be a great litmus test, Houston, Jacksonville, Seattle, really good team. San Francisco, then they end the season with Jacksonville. There you go, Jacksonville and the Houston Texans. These are all winnable games for the Indianapolis Colts. What we've seen more than anything from this league this year is that as much as we've tried to predict games, they unpredictable. Nobody had the Carolina Panthers beating the Green Bay Packers. Nobody had the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Colts going into that game. So these games are winnable for the Indianapolis Colts. Let me also mention, Sauce Gardner, I think, is a phenomenal cornerback. But think about the division and think about the playoffs, the games that you're going to have to play most likely. You're going to have to play Pat Mahomes, you're going to have to play Josh Allen, and you're going to have guys on the back end that can either take the ball away or cover number one wide receivers to help your team. The Indianapolis Colts' biggest concern, and Doggy, where I agree with you, is Daniel Jones. Pete Schrags, I hear you. A vote of confidence, whatever they giving Daniel Jones. We ain't going to give Daniel Jones that pass beyond the guys that we talking about. So what do? You go out and bolster things around him. Taylor, MVP candidate, running the ball very well. It was an anomaly. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a come to Jesus against the Indianapolis Colts and looked like the defense we thought they would look like all season long. I still believe that this move was great by the Indianapolis Colts now and in the future, like the one they made for Quentin Williams in Dallas. So I'm in full agreement. If you the Colts and you looking at that schedule, you may have an opportunity to be a 1 seed in the AFC if you win out enough. Go and get a premium cornerback, I think, plays into that.
Well, number one, that is a very go ahead, Steve, you first. Go ahead. Scream away.
So we're here on First Take. Well, first of all, I'll leave the screaming to you. I'm mild-mannered and low-tone compared to you, but let's get that out the way. But I'm here. I'm here on First Take, and Shae and Peter and the crew. You see, when you're number one, as we are, been number one morning show for 13 straight years. Actually, April will make 14 straight years. People watch you. People watch all the time. And I bring that up, y'all, because I'm sitting here talking with y'all, and we're talking about this particular subject, and I get a text message in the middle of the segment, lo and behold, from the New York Jets. You don't know, you had to know who. I ain't gonna reveal that, but they wanted to make sure to reach out. And they want to reach out to make the case that, Woody Johnson, I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, he hired, he has made some good hires before. A Herm Edwards, a Mike Tannenbaum, a Eric Mangini, a Rex Ryan, a Todd Bowles. And, oh, by the way, Stephen A., Woody Johnson did not hire. He did not hire Adam Gase, Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh. And I'm good with that. That's a reasonable take to reach out to me to say, here's where they crossed the damn line. Here's where they crossed the damn line. When they sat up there, you would think they would stop there. But no, they didn't stop there. You know what they said? Woody Johnson deserved the benefit of the doubt. Now that's when they went too damn far. He deserved the benefit of the doubt. Now, Peter, am I missing something, Peter? Am I missing something, Peter? Peter, were you there, Peter? When didn't Woody Johnson come in there? Didn't he just move Robert Saleh out? Didn't they nosedive from there? Did they ultimately hire Aaron Glenn? Did they start out the season 0-7? You see, it's a classic problem with the Jets, who have good people, by the way, really good people that work for them and stuff like that. But you got to know when the period to the sentence arrives. Had they stopped there, with the people that have been associated with the New York Jets over a period of time, you'd have had me. You'd have had me at that. You wouldn't even have to go to hello. You'd have had me at that. But when they added that last line, he deserves the benefit of the doubt. Why? Why? I mean, when have the Jets been to a Super Bowl? And Woody Johnson, are you kidding me? That's the kind of stuff that we deal with on First Take, just so y'all know. What was yours, Doggy?
Now, if I'm a Jets employee, who's the leak? Who's the leak? Who's texting Stephen A. mid-segment? Because we don't need that either. We don't need that either on this show. No, we're good. Let's keep our stuff in-house here. I don't need anyone texting Stephen A. in defense of Woody Johnson at this hour. No, we're good.
How about that? I know about 20 people inside the Jets organization. About 20. You understand?
Smoke them out.
So I ain't gonna never find out who. You understand? But I'm just saying, it's like really the benefit of the doubt. And listen, the boss can't be mad. They're supporting the boss.
Yeah.
They're speaking up for the boss.
They defending it. They supporting the boss.
They supporting the boss. I am saying you have no business doing that to me. No, not after what Woody Johnson has done since he's returned from being the ambassador to the UK.
Man.
Oh no.
Normally, you don't need to like defend yourself if you're making good moves. I'm just saying that. I'm gonna let Marcus Spears wipe his eyes because he's laughing so hard. Go ahead, you can have the final word here on this.
The final word is pretty easy. I understand what you guys are saying about Indianapolis. They got better, and they gave up nobody from this current crew, and they're 7-2. And they have a chance. That home field in Indianapolis is a waste of time anyway because it's not cold weather. The fans, nobody's going to have trouble winning in Indianapolis. That's not going to Lambeau in the middle of the day. That's not going to Manning lost to me in playoff games in Indianapolis. Pittsburgh beat him
A big tackle by Ben. Big tackle by Ben.
A lot of teams beat them in Indianapolis. The Jets beat him in Indianapolis for crying out loud. So, I mean, San Diego beat him in Indianapolis. So the idea that somehow, some way they got a tough home field is a bunch of nonsense. But I understand why Indianapolis did it. They feel they have a chance to be a dark horse and get to a Super Bowl, and Gardner makes them a little better. I'm not arguing that. I understand it. But if you're asking me, and that's the question, is Indianapolis now some big Super Bowl favorite because they brought Sauce Gardner in? That's a ridiculous premise when you look at the playoff teams in the AFC, they have by far the worst quarterback.
Hypothetically, if the Chiefs are like the 6 and the Colts are the 3.
The Chiefs would be favored.
You think so?
Oh, the Chiefs in Indianapolis, they'd be favored. Buffalo would be favored.
Sure.
They would be favored. They got the worst quarterback of all the playoff teams. You can't make them the favorite to go to the AFC. I don't care if they bring Adderley, Nitsky, and Lombardi there.
Let's go.
You can't make them be the favorite in the AFC.
But what about Sauce Gardner?
Oh, God.
Because
he hated the trade deadline. He doesn't like any of these moves. He thinks none of them are bad. It's all about the Jets.